turned slowly, eyes wide. His flashlight's beam left my car, slowly painting towards his. Nothing. He looked upon the road with a gaze of amazement. "Dude, let's get out of here," I screamed, motioning to his car. He snapped out of his trance-like state and quickly made his way back. He got in and turned the key, and to my relief, his car started. And finally, I felt safe. He locked the doors, and we sat there for a few minutes, trying to decide what to do next. We decided we would go home, then return for my car the next day. My brother peeled out and drove home faster than we should have, but slower than we liked. We walked in the door and locked it. I dialed 911 and sat on the phone with the police. Although there was a chance they wouldn't believe me, I thought it was best that I told someone. 2 officers came to investigate and question us, filed a report, did a search around the property, and left. The following weeks were mainly sleepless. I decided not to go back for my car, as I didn't want to leave my house. I had my sanity in mind, and not leaving my house was better than risking someone keying my shitbox 1997 Civic. I installed security cameras around the outside and inside of the house, got new locks for the doors, and obsessed over my personal security. I would sit in my room for hours watching those cameras, forgetting to eat. My brother came to me and told me he needed to go on a vacation to find himself. He said he would be back in a few weeks. I begged and pleaded for him not to go, but it was no use. He packed his stuff into a backpack and left. I invited a friend to come stay with me while my brother was gone. Him staying helped, and I was finally able to get some sleep. I just couldn't shake that face out of my mind, and I couldn't shake the feeling that someone was watching me. I was finally feeling better since my brother had left, and I told my friend that he didn't have to stay any longer. He left, and the next few days were better. I was able to leave the house, go for walks, etc. But one night, I was watching a hockey game on TV, and I heard footsteps approaching the front door, followed by a scratching sound. I grabbed a pocket knife from the table and stood up. I was so tense, but comfortable, and knew if someone was trying to get in, I was ready. The door swung open hard. My brother stood there smiling. "You scared the crap out of me, man," I said, letting out a sigh of relief. "Hey, buddy, how are you?" "Oh, God, put the knife down," he said, still smiling. Something was off. That smile, it was too wide for a human. I rubbed my eyes, and the smile seemed to be normal again. I was probably suffering from some sort of PTSD, I thought. My brother locked himself in his room the entire day. Weird behavior, but he wanted to rest. That's what I told myself anyway. Throughout the day, the silence would be broken by occasional screeches and bangs from his room. That night, I was in my room watching 4 of the security camera monitors. My anxiety was back, and with that, I knew that the next week would be sleepless. I was in my room writing down my experience when my LED light strip around my desk went dark. The power was out. I had an emergency emergency power supply unit hooked up to my setup, which gave me about 2 more hours of power. I had decided to stay at my desk until the lights came back on, and hopefully I would be asleep by then. I had just started to nod off when I saw some movement in the living room. I looked closer and saw a figure standing, peeking its head around the wall leading to the bedrooms. It was dark and I could make out some features, but nothing concrete. I leaned in to get a better look, and that's when it approached the camera. It revealed itself, smiling again, with its wide smile, eyes milky white like I remember. It raised a long, skinny white arm with long, spindly fingers, each decorated with a thick, crusty fingernail. It let out a little wave before tilting its head and forming its fingers into a pointing motion. It was motioning behind me. I flipped around to see my bedroom completely empty. Then when I turned back, the figure was gone. Out of my peripheral vision, I could see one of the monitors. In my bedroom stood a tall, white figure right behind me, waving at the camera with the same smile. My name is Detective Pinnock of the Dakota County Police Department. The previously recorded encounter was found while investigating a missing persons case at a rural home in southeastern Minnesota. Tyler Edwards and his brother Liam Edwards were both reported missing by their parents. After searching the house, there were no signs of forced entry. The computers were left on, and a tape recorder documenting the encounter sat next to it. The security cameras remained filming. After reading the notes, listening to the recording, and watching the cameras, we cannot confirm a figure in the house. The power at the house went out between the hours of 2:37 a.m. and 3:12 a.m. During this time, the camera footage froze. The brothers left without taking any of their belongings. Tyler's car was found with a destroyed battery on a rural road south of his home. Tyler's room was filled with tons of security equipment, weapons, and multiple locks on his door. Liam's room was completely empty. Drawn on the walls was a depiction of a smiling face, one in which the mouth was too big for the head. If you have any information on the brothers' whereabouts, please contact the Dakota County Police Department non-emergency line.